How are you? Today I would like to talk about an aspect of a trauma of the divine masculine. I know a lot of people always talk about the trauma of the divine feminine, and so do I. But it's important that we also discuss about the trauma of the divine masculine. And I spoke about that before as well. But it's time to kind of bring it up more. You know, the more I see the darkness of this dark masculine world coming up, I also see more men around me. I see their wounds and their own trauma coming up. And it's not conscious most of the time, but I feel it from them. I feel it in my womb and I feel their heart. So I felt it's important to speak about it. Let's talk about the first trauma that a masculine encounters when entering this realm and this dimension. And this is not happening for all men, of course, but it's happening for most of them, for enough of them. It's too many. And we call it circumcision. Circumcision is a blood sacrifice. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this because a lot of people are still in the story and the program of the religious world and the religious story and the religious dimension that they're living in. And they've been programmed to think something specific about circumcision. It's a blood sacrifice. You are traumatizing a baby from, they do it when the baby is 8 days old in the Jewish religion. And in other religions, they do it, also when the child is older, which is, I don't know what's worse. But you are literally cutting a part of the most sacred, not the most sacred because the whole body is sacred really, but you're cutting a part of the divine masculine sexual energy. I mean, it's so horrible. It's so traumatizing. No wonder that, men are growing up with such immense fear and not trusting their sexual energy, because usually, for example, if it's a Jewish baby, their mother is the one who is giving them to do that. It's usually very horrible for the mother. Like I see mothers when their child has to go through circumcision, but they still do it. They still allow it. And I mean, of course, girls go through that as well in many parts of the world. It's horrific. It's horrific. The thing that people don't understand is that this dark masculine world and the dark entities that are controlling this world, their first aim is to destroy and distort our divine sexual energy, because that in turns destroys our divine connection as men and women, as feminine and masculine. And when they destroy this connection, they destroy everything in us. We are the most powerful when we come together as divine feminine and masculine. So that is their first aim. That is why they are targeting children and destroying and traumatizing in horrific ways their sexual energy. Because that through sexual energy, as I explained many times before, for years I've been teaching about this in my YouTube channel, your sexual energy creates a portal, and it is the most powerful thing that we have as human beings. And that is their way to not only take away our life force, but destroy it completely so that we can't use our own life force. This reality is filled with dark, baneful, horrific magic. And no one sees it. I mean, some people do see it, and some people see it, but they don't label it as magic. I do, because, when I say magic, it's not Harry Potter magic, even though Harry Potter is a very real movie, trust me. And we're not going to go into it right now, but it's magic is the creation of the manifestation of reality It is the divine feminine and masculine coming together to create life. Creating a baby is magic, for example. So magic is a big word, but it is the creation and manifestation and creating life in this reality. This blood sacrifice that we're doing to little boys must stop. We are traumatizing little children, which grow up to be traumatized adults. And because they don't have the tools to heal their inner child, they are wounded. We're like, this world is full with adults, but people who look like they're adults in adult bodies, but they're actually wounded children inside. So they keep hurting other children, and the cycle goes on. And even if these men don't hurt, even if these are good men and they don't hurt other children, they don't hurt, and most of them don't, but they're still wounded, and they have a distorted, unhealthy view of their own sexuality, of their own penis, of women. They don't trust women. They don't trust other men. It's just a whole mess. It's a whole mess. We really have to stop, and we really have to reevaluate right now in the point of our evolution as human beings. We have to reevaluate everything that we think is right, everything that we believe in, all our belief system. It's time that we stop believing. It's time that we know. That's why we have to follow our own guiding system, our own wombs and our own hearts, and stop following other people's belief systems. Stop following religion. Stop following the government. We have to stop. We have to really reevaluate everything that we're doing. It's painful for me because I see a lot of really good men. Really, really good men. And I see the divine potential in so many masculine people on this planet. And I work with a lot of them. And I meet a lot of them, and I speak to a lot of them. And it really hurts me because they always have this boundary that, like this cage that they're in, this like invisible cage of their own trauma and their own fear. We have to stop. We just have to stop. We have to really ask ourselves the questions every single day. This is not our world anymore. This world has never been ours, really, but we had the illusion that it was ours. We've been following the guidelines of very, very, very evil beings. And we have to stop. It's time that we know our path, and it's time that we follow our own divine, higher spirit. Men, connect to your heart. Women, connect to your womb. And that will help you connect to each other in a more divine way and take our world back and create a much better world, a more safe, loving, and a divine, sacred space for our children. I love you all.